Neil, I just wanted to show you how I have my Blender set up. I think it makes the workflow a little easier. I've got a few add-ons as well that I want to show you. If you go to this top left file, user preferences, go to input, make sure you have select with on left. That's going to be left mouse select. It makes things easier for me. Some of the other programs have this same select with the left. For whatever reason, the right mouse select is the default. It's up to you, but I just prefer the select with left. And then choose Save User Settings. Also go over to this Add-on tab, and then there's a magnifying glass. And go ahead and type in the word image. And I want you to check the box on the Import Export Images planes. So you'll have this unchecked, just check it, and then Save User Settings. And then that's going to add something here to the Mesh Add panel that I'll show you here in just a second. It's going to allow us to bring in an overhead image, and then we can trace it. It'll allow you to bring in any image, and then you can use that image to be able to create some of your objects. It's a little nicer for scaling, especially some of these buildings you're trying to replicate. And then now you can close this out. The only other thing I want you to do from a setup standpoint is come to this box on the right, and just I'm dragging this out so you can see it a little better. But sort of the second portion of this down here, this is on the, I guess this is the properties sort of tab. If you come to the third button from the left, here, it's got these little shapes. It's basically the scene properties window. And you can see here there's a unit section, and change yours from none to metric. And then basically that's going to allow you to import into Unity 1-to-1, I believe. And now in order for this to be saved, you have to come over here to this file and choose Save Startup File. So every time you open Blender, this will be the case. This is how it would look. And now actually for yours, right now you've got a square in the middle. And I don't have it because I have saved it. I've saved over top of that sort of default opening file. So I want you to make sure your square is selected. It should be orange. If it's not, you can use your left mouse to select it, and then hit X, and then delete that box. That way that square is not there every time you come in, unless you really want the square. But now I would go up, if that box is deleted, and I'd come up here and go File, Save Startup File, and then you have to OK it, so then choose this Save Startup File. So every time you come into Blender, you see I'll close this out. I want to quit. And now when I come into Blender, it's going to be the same way. That box is gone. I'm set to metric. If you come up here, you'll notice you've got in your user preferences, your input is set to select with left mouse, your add-on. If I click over here and type in the word image, that use images planes is going to be in there. So now let me show you that and how that's nice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Kiowa, and I'm going to get the overhead view of this restroom. This is hole 5, and there's a restroom nearby. And I want to do it because I just want to replicate the size and the styling of this roof. If you don't already have it as well, I want you to put a snipping tool down on your taskbar. If you have Windows 7 or above, you can just click the left Windows bar, and you can just type in snipping. And you'll see the snipping tool, it's built in. You may already have it up. I've talked about it before on the forum. Right click on it and then pin it to your taskbar. I don't have that because it's already on my taskbar, but now you'll have that on your taskbar. It'll always be there. And if you click on that and choose new, now you can basically choose any area of your desktop window, and it will copy it. It'll copy it to the clipboard, which is really nice. But basically, I'm going to left click and drag, and now I've got this image, and now it's saved to my clipboard, but I also want to save it so I can import it into Blender. So I'm going to click the disk and then just put it somewhere that you can remember. I've already pre-done this, and I've named it Restroom Overhead. Okay, so I saved that. And if I come back into Blender, and I'm going to go and I'm going to bring that image in. So you're going to hit Shift A, and now you've got this as mesh. And you're going to come down here to Image as Planes. and you're going to go find your image. So here's my restroom overhead. You may have to do some searching here. But once you got it, and you double click on it, when you bring it in, for you, it's going to look like this. You're going to say, well, what the heck did I do? It created a plane automatically based on that image, but you can't see it yet. You'll see you're in object mode, but your viewport shading is on solid. And so in the end, if you come to this little box down here at the bottom, see object mode, the next box to the right of it, and you click on that, change it to texture. And now you'll see that it brought in that image. So this is really convenient for tracing. This is how I built the clubhouse for Kiowa. And now I'm just going to show you how you can rotate this so that we can use it to build. So sometimes you get out of whack here and you want to really just have a straight on overhead view. You can see we're in user perspective mode and you want to be in orthographic mode. Now if you have a num panel, hopefully you have num lock off, and if you have a numpad, you can hit numpad 5 and that will switch you to user ortho mode. Ortho mode is basically like a direct on view viewing, and you want to build in this way when you're doing like strict up and down objects. But in the end, so now I'm in user ortho mode. If I hit 7 on my numpad, it's going to take me directly above, so I'm not distorted, I'm not off angle or anything. 7 in user ortho mode, and I'm just right at the top. Now if you come to the very bottom left of your screen, you're going to see something here that says view. I have a clock. Then to the next button to the right of it says view. Sorry, don't go down that far. Go to this one where it says 3D view panel and click the word view here. And you'll see there are all these different views that you can get to. And so if you can't remember that numpad 7 is the top, it's over here for you. You can also come down here and select it if you want to do it, but over time you'll get the keyboard commands because it just moves you faster. But if you forget, view top. Okay, so now we're at the top. Now, an easy thing they've got as well, if you hold down Control, it will do the opposite of the top, which is the bottom. So if you're at the right, which is numpad 3, so let's do that in numpad 3. Now I'm on the right side of this. If I hit Control and numpad 3, well, then I'm going to be on the left side of it. So there are some things that aren't super intuitive, but you'll get it with time. So I'm in user ortho view. You can see that. I want to hit 7 to get back above. So now I'm at the top, and I'm going to use my mouse wheel to scroll out a little bit. And I'm going to just rotate this to line it up with this red line, which is my x-axis. So if you haven't learned this already, when you hit either R for rotate or S for scaling, the closer you are to this center point, the less fine your control will be. So let's hit S, and you'll see how quickly this scales up and down. Okay, I'm going to hit escape again. If I'm farther away with my mouse, so see how my mouse is in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen? And now I hit S, my control is much finer. And so I can't get as big as I was before. And so in the end, when you want to scale or rotate something, depending on what you want to do, if you want some fine-tuning control, you got to get far away. And you'll see when you hit S, see that dotted line that comes up? That's basically the span which you can kind of scale it over. So hit escape again. I'm going to scroll in, and now so I'm going to rotate. I'm going to be close to it. Hit R here, and I'm going to rotate it till that roof is sort of in line with that axis. You'll see it just makes it easier for me to build. All right, and so I'm going to pause this video. I basically have Bandicam, so I can only do 10 minutes at a time, and then I'm going to just show you how I build the roof.